Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have had a little bit of Xbox news that's not the best. Now, as you guys may have heard throughout these past few weeks, past few months, we've actually had a few different brand new racing style games that are having a lot of big issues, mainly saying that this genre of games, both on the PlayStation and Xbox, are having a lot more difficulties than expected. And right now, Xbox is actually losing one of these games. A lot of fans are very disappointed and worried about what's going to happen in the future of their games, if they can still play them, and the longevity of a lot of the games in the Xbox platform. And I'm going to go talk about this because for some odd reason, and I mean I could kind of explain it why, there's been a lot of big, I guess, lack of long-term investment into racing games. Now, this may not be a big deal for you guys, but I'm actually one of those people who actually really did enjoy the Forza Horizon games, and at the same time, I did also really like, even like Gran Turismo was actually pretty fun for me. I've actually kind of been a low-key car racing guy, if you guys don't know that about me. I always love the old school like Need for Speed Underground, some of the best soundtracks and games, or even like, like Midnight Club. There's a lot of really cool OG games, even like if you want to throw in Mario Kart, although it's not really the same. And I've always been like a low-key car guy. If I was ever rich and successful, you can bet your booty that I'm going to get a nice car. But right now, it seems like me kind of being able to go vicariously play through these games and enjoy them is up on the rocks. And the same thing too as well with a lot of other users that are concerned about the future of Xbox, Game Pass, and basically just everything as a whole. So let's go talk about it. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below in case you guys like to follow. And I appreciate y'all for watching. Let's dive on in. So as I was kind of talking about, there is a prior story that we covered a few months ago in regards to The Crew. Now, this story isn't about The Crew, but kind of giving you as like a preface. The Crew was a really cool game. They had The Crew 1 and 2. And itself, like, I like car racing games. You can play with your buds, usually fun for multiplayer. It's like kind of like a nice brain off, zoom around, look at cool looking cars, race your buds, and usually have a good soundtrack. And sadly, The Crew got delisted, game got removed, anyone who bought the game itself, the online servers are gone, and they were basically out money. Now, the game itself was out for a while. I'm sure the servers were really low, and it's kind of understandable on why. But people are still sad. Like, it's one of those things where, like, maybe you just don't know what you got until it's gone, and then once it's gone, you want to complain about it. So I kind of get that mindset, but it still sucks, because you always sometimes want to have these long-term games, or if I want to go and play Need for Speed Underground 2, I can literally go and do that, like, right now, whether through emulation or just me literally launching my old school game console. But right now, we're actually having a bigger deal with Xbox, or Xbox is in the kind of the drama news right now, saying the news of Forza Horizon's imminent delisting has a lot of people questioning this. Basically, what's going on with this? What's going to happen? What's going to happen with the game, long term of the next upcoming games, etc. So thankfully, Forza Horizon 4 is the older version. And same thing with The Crew. But it still doesn't necessarily mean that at some point Forza Horizon 5 is not going to be gone. And how this might not be a long-term consistent issue. So I want to hear your thoughts as we wrap about it. Do you guys think this is an issue or not? Some people may be thinking like, hey, who knows? Like, no one really probably plays the game as much as another game. Some people might be like, I bought this game, played the game, or I have Game Pass for it, and I like my games, I like the options. Why do we lose it? So give me your thoughts down below. But basically at this point, it does seem like it will be removed from Game Pass in Marketplace. So when it comes to this one too as well. So Forza Horizon 4 is getting delisted from Xbox Game Pass. This news came straight from the Game Studios X account and has gotten a lot of Xbox fans pretty worried since a tweet mentioned that the game will be soon removed from the Game Pass library. Forza Horizon 4 came out in 2018. And this was a good game. Like, I remember playing this game, I streamed this game up on Twitch, it was a fun experience, and I like all the Forza Horizon games a lot. But sadly, even though I like them, and the graphics still hold up good, and the game holds up good, yeah, guess what? It's going to be delisted. So the game has a massive map and lots of cool cars to drive around, which basically just looks great. But it is getting delisted due to these ongoing long-term licensing agreements, which makes sense. Like, if Xbox does not want to go and spend the additional money and cost or time or whatever, I'm not sure how many people actively play Forza Horizon, like, 4, because they sell 5. Like, most people probably moved over to 5. Better graphics, like, quote-unquote, better game, whatever. But at the same time, even for The Crew, people still checked out the game, went back to the game, had their, like, progression through the game, and they want to still have a chance to play it. Now, I do believe you might still have to go buy the game, so this is not the same case with The Crew, but at the same time of, like, it kind of just shows that over time, it just sucks. Like, you don't have a chance to go and have these licensing agreements, you get to keep on rocking on out. So there's things. So the game has been a favorite for racing game fans for a while now. But like all good things, it's time on Game Pass and via digital sales. And that's like the big thing. Basically, Xbox is removing the chance to buy it through the digital sale mark, I believe, is now coming to an end on the 15th of December of 2024. So they said over this one breaking, Forza Horizon 4 will be delisted from digital stores on December 15th, 2024 due to licensing issues. Series 77, ending August 22nd, will be the final festive playlist. The game remains playable with existing features. Basically saying like the game itself will have like one big last hurrah, and then it will be going bye-bye after a few months after the fact. Now, once again, the game has been out for a while, and that's a good thing. Like, we had a good run with the game. But it's like this weird new thing where, due to maybe cars, because obviously they don't own the licensing rights of using cars, like Lamborghini or Ford or Chevy. They don't necessarily own those rights long term. Because what happens 50 years down the road? And then what if they were putting, like random, spaceships, like space shuttles, wings, whatever. When it comes to these cars, like a Ford Fiat or whatever, I don't know. So basically, there's like one of the licensing reasons behind that. But there also is a lot of music licensing too. You can only basically go rent or utilize music for quite some time. Some games are fine, like you sell for single player, it's whatever. You either buy the rights for it forever or whatever, or at the same time, like the game itself is just out there, like no one cares, so that's fine. But also sometimes they just rent it. Like sometimes they'll be like, hey, we want to have these musical rights for 5 years, 10 years, and they assume that a live service game, people will move on, or you'll make a Horizon 5, which they already did, and usually music rights are very, very expensive to go maintain and keep. Like think about like how much copyright overlaps, and sometimes movies don't even get renewed. Like there's a lot of big copyright issues. So it's understandable on why they're removing the game. Like I'm sure the player base is small. I'm sure not as many people are buying the game. I'm sure if they have to renew all these licensing rights, it'll cost probably more money than they will make from that entire period of them doing the licensing in the first place. And while it is probably good for the community to keep, like goodwill, like why do it? Like there's kind of no real reason for them to do it, which makes me sad. I understand it, but it doesn't make me not sad about this. Have I played the game? Am I a die-hard fan? No. But did I like The Crew 1 when I played it? Yes. Did I like this game when I played it? Yes. Would I come back to it if there was a cool big update randomly? Yes, but they probably wouldn't because obviously they made The Crew 2. They're working on new games. They already released Forza Horizon 5 forever ago. I would love a brand new Forza Horizon myself. So it's kind of like one of those like non-issue issues where I see the trend happening. I understand why the trend's happening, but it doesn't take away the fact that it makes me sad, Because some people really like these games, some people want to keep on playing it. Like, look at the guy who's even on the tweet itself, like this egg guy. Bro, his Twitter profile picture is a car. Like, this guy's sad. Like, no matter what. Like, some people are just car guys. Like, if you guys are car guys, let me know. Like, my dad was a car guy. I've never been a big car guy myself. I like cars. I want to get a nice car. I'm down. But I'm more of like get me to A to B. But in video games, I kind of get my vice for it. Like, I like getting those super fast cars, going 300 miles an hour on a highway, playing a video game. Like, all the Horizon games are fun. Like, I like racing with my buds and just having, like, goofy stuff with it. Like, I'm into it. I like it. So the fact that these games are going away, once again, I'm not going to be playing it, so I can't be like the morally like, oh my god, I'm so mad. But there are going to be people upset about it. I mean, maybe not even you guys too, but that's why sometimes it's like an interesting topic just to see. Like, it's like an interesting topic point. That's why sometimes I make these videos. But basically, the main reason for Forza Horizon's 4 potential delisting seems to be due to the licensing agreements related to both the music and the cars. So like I said, like you can't go, like cars change over time. They don't necessarily know what you're doing. If they have the licensing rights for 50 years, like I said, they can change stuff all they want. Or maybe they want to take their brand a different direction. And then same with music. Music is just rough. Like, it resets all the time. It's rough. So these agreements can be pretty expensive to maintain for several years. This isn't the first time it has happened in the series. Forza Horizon 3 also faced a similar situation when it got delisted in 2020. These licensing deals have expiration dates, and renewing them can be quite costly, especially when the newer iterations of the game, such as 2021's Forza Horizon 5, is already out, so they just assume most people just move on over. Which stinks, though, because we lose the map, characters, progression, like I said, but, what can you do? Music licensing games like Forza Horizon series cover a wide range of popular songs, which players can enjoy while racing. Car licenses, on the other hand, involve agreements with various car manufacturers to feature their vehicles in the game. These licenses are essential for making the game realistic and enjoyable. However, once these agreements expire, the game can no longer legally feature the same music in the same cars. So that's why they're removing the game as a whole. So it stinks. So as of right this second, they can still play the game. If they own the game, it's fine. They can still play the game after it's delisted, which is okay, but a lot of these car games, you care about the multiplayer aspect. You want to play with your friends. You want to get groups together. You want to race your friends with it. That was probably my favorite aspect of Forza Horizon 5, is literally getting in lobbies and racing my friends. So thankfully, they still have it, but at the same time, Xbox is removing this beloved game. You will not be able to go buy it again in the future. But I do think, and this is why it's kind of like 50-50, I don't think as many people will care in my opinion. I don't think that because the game's older, whatever, it's fine. And they can still technically get the game via a physical copy, but they're not making more, so those are kind of lost in the duds. So I'm kind of curious. Like I said, it's like an issue, but it's it's like kind of a non-issue issue because most people who like the game probably know about this, will work on it, maybe try to buy it early. But it's one of those things where maybe 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, you won't be able to go replay it, and it's gonna be a little bit sad. So let me know your thoughts and comments down below. I appreciate y'all for watching. We got that Twitter and Twitch room as well, and I appreciate y'all for just existing.